Along on a tractor, honey, a tractor built for two. Sitting up here in the sea, me, sweet me. Now we got a better view. You look so pretty.
Hello Snowy Owls. Are we having a bit of fun on the Little Red Tractor today? And I've got a story all about the Little Red Tractor to tell you. The story is called The Day Aunt Ellie Went for a Swim, and it's by Peter Tye. One morning there was a loud noise above the Little Red Tractor's cab. 5 newly hatched swallows were screeching loudly. Their parents flashed in and out of the barn with beaks full of food for their hungry chicks. Stan pushed open the door, letting in a shaft of warm sunlight. "My goodness," he said, "what a lovely noise those young swallows are making. But I'm afraid we're going to have to leave them, Little Red Tractor. We're going haymaking today." Stan and Little Red Tractor chugged off to Middlefield. Stan hooked Little Red Tractor onto the hay-turning machine. They needed to turn the hay so that it dried in the warm sunshine. The cows and sheep on Gosling Farm would eat the hay during the cold winter months when there was no grass. For hours and hours, Little Red Tractor chugged up and down the meadow, carefully turning the hay. It was hot work. But at last, Stan stopped for a break and switched off Little Red Tractor's engine. Patch trotted over to the little brook for a drink of cool water. Stan sat in the shade beneath an old oak tree. He took a long drink from his bottle of lemonade and watched the swallows swoop and wheel high in the clear blue sky. They were collecting insects to feed their young chicks. Suddenly, Patch heard something and barked loudly. Stan got up to see what she was barking at. The sheep were grazing quietly. But down by the river, the lambs were jumping and making lots of noise. "You're right, Patch," said Stan. "Something's upset the lambs. We'd better go and see what all the fuss is about." Stan quickly unhooked the hay-turning machine and drove Little Red Tractor at full speed to Riverside Field. The ground was bumpy and he drove so fast he almost lost his cap. When they arrived on the riverbank, Stan, Patch and Little Red Tractor were surprised to find Aunt Ellie, a very large woolly sheep, standing in the middle of the river. She looked very wet and very sorry for herself. "Aunt Ellie," cried Stan, "what are you doing?" Aunt Ellie bleated a mournful reply. Hot in her thick woolly coat, she went into the river to cool off, and now she was stuck fast in the mud. Stan scratched his head. "Well, you're too heavy for me to lift, Auntie Ellie, and that's a fact," said Stan. "This is a job for the Little Red Tractor." Stan turned Little Red Tractor around and backed up to the riverbank. He put his wellies on. Then, with a thick coil of rope over his shoulders, Stan began to wade out towards poor Auntie Ellie. He was almost there when Patch barked a warning. Little Red Tractor was rolling backwards into the river. "Oh no," cried Stan, "I forgot to put the brake on." Stan scrambled and splashed his way back and just managed to put the brake on before Little Red Tractor went into the water. Auntie Ellie gave a mournful, watery bleat as Stan waded towards her for the second time. "Hold still, old girl," he said as he carefully passed the rope under Aunt Ellie's middle and made a harness behind her front legs. But as Stan turned to take the other end of the rope back to Little Red Tractor, one of his boots got stuck in the mud. He twisted, he wobbled on one leg, and then, oh dear, Stan lost his balance and ended up in the river with the water swirling around his waist. "Botheration!" he shouted as a little silver fish wriggled out from his boot. The frolicking lamb seemed to be grinning at Stan as he squelched his way to the bank. "All right," he said to Little Red Tractor in a gruff sort of voice. "Now let's see if we can get it right this time." Stan eased Little Tractor forward. "Gently does it," he said, "slowly, slowly, and here she comes." Like a great big woolly sponge, Auntie Ellie began to glide gently towards the bank. The other sheep watched as Auntie Ellie clambered up the riverbank and Stan untied the rope. Then, with water dripping from her woolly coat, Auntie Ellie ambled up the meadow to lie in the sun to dry. "Well done, little red tractor," said Stan as they chugged back to the hayfield. "I don't think Auntie Ellie will go swimming again in a hurry, do you?" Stan and little red tractor got back to work again, and Stan chuckled as he drove past his wellies, gently steaming in the sunshine. "Tell me, little red tractor," he said, "which do you think will dry first, the hay, Auntie Ellie, or my wellies?" The end. Right, I'm going to go get on with driving my little red tractor. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow for another story. Bye!